this video I'm going to show you bad scouting advice for the summer, bad summer scouting advice, and just how it leads up to hunting season and all you need to know about that. So we're right here. I've got just right here in front of me, really close to me, I have a spot cleared out for the bedding area, or not for the bedding area, for my blind. And then I have a mock scrape over here, which I'm going to take the camera down and show you it. But I was just going to talk about how a lot of the sign and stuff that you see leads up to no good during hunting season. So the same trails that the deer come through, there's actually a run right here, goes through here, and they hit this mock scrape. I don't know, I think you can see it. There's a clearing. I cleared this out. I didn't clear it out for the deer to use. That's my shooting lane from the blind. The deer will still use that as a crossing, though. So you need to be aware of that when you're making shooting lanes. But anyways, so there's a run right here. And just because there's a run right here doesn't mean that they're going to do this exact same run during hunting season, because bucks, they will, in the summer, obviously, in early spring, they shed their antlers fall off. They regrow their antlers in the summer. So what I like to call is the summer stage, or the growing stage of deer. They're in a different spot than your place right here. You want to make your land a fall and winter spot for bucks, big bucks, and deer in general. You do not want to make it for does, or not for does. You don't want to make it for spring or summer. You want to make it for fall and winter, because obviously that's the time you shoot the deer. You can't hunt in summer and spring. So you need to make your parcel to be fall and winter. And there's a lot of things that go into that concept, because just like food plots, for example, if you don't get your weeds out of your food plots in fall and winter, they're probably not going to use your food plots, because all that vegetation is going to die. If you have weeds in your food plots in spring and summer, that's a great thing. You really want weeds in, not really, but it's not bad if you have weeds in your spring and summer food plot. Now, I have a mock scrape set up right here. I've got a food plot set up right here. Got another food plot set up over here. This is a fourth of an acre food plot, and this is a micro food plot. So the micro food plot is my spring food plot, because it's so small that it won't hold that many deer. So I'm not going to have as many bucks here in the spring and summer, so I can have that just for a spring food plot. I actually just sprayed it with glyphosate. It's clover, 1 quart per acre glyphosate for clover. So that's why I sprayed on there. And they're not going to hit that, because there's still a lot of weeds left in it. I'm not saying that they're not going to go to that food plot. There's just better choices for them right over here in this fourth of an acre food plot. And they're probably not going to go to that one. They're going to go to this one. But the only reason why this deer run will probably stay here, actually 2 reasons. First of all, we have a thin patch of trees, and they're only going to run through this patch of trees, because there's a slope on both sides. They feel protected in here. There's weeds on either side, especially in summer. Obviously the weeds aren't going to be here in fall and winter, but especially in summer, they have a lot of cover in here. Now, this is their really only option, is to go right through here, because they have a pasture out here, but they're going to be exposed. So you don't want this to, they don't want to be exposed, is what I'm trying to say. But the reason why this is going to stay here, this run, is because they don't want to be exposed, because there's weeds right here, and once fall and winter comes, those weeds are going to die. There's weeds right here. Once fall and winter comes, they're going to die. So they're going to want to stay right in here where there's still cover. Another reason, I have a mock scrape set up. And so when you have mock scrapes set up, I put those out in June, mid-June, early July. And that that mock scrape is going to define where the deer are moving at, the deer movement. So they're going to come from bedding, which is 200, 300 yards over there. They're going to hit this mock scrape, and then they're going to go to the food plot. And that's one way you can know that the deer are going to stay in the specific spot and they're going to go through the specific spot, because there's a mock scrape set up, and the deer make that part of their daily routine. Food at night, bedding in the morning, mock scrape in the afternoon, food at night. That's just a big rotation. And so they come right through here. Now I'm going to talk about summer bucks and fall and winter bucks, because summer and spring bucks, they will go to a different parcel, a different place to stay for their spring and summer spring and summer spot that they're going to stay at. They're going to like it there because there's going to be a lot of vegetation. They're going to find vegetation to stay in their that specific spring and summer spot. Now here, we're getting bedding ready over here, we're getting food plots ready over here, we're getting everything ready for fall this year. And so bucks in the summer, they create they get a lot of other bucks together in a big group, at least 5 to 7 deer, or 5 to 7 bucks, and they stay in that specific spot. Now when fall and winter comes, they're going to spread out, and this would be where a buck would come, and multiple bucks would come, but not the same bucks that are in the specific group. So there's also things called is a buck's core area. And a buck's core area is where obviously bucks travel about a 3-mile radius. 3-mile radius. That's the spot they stay in. So they're going to be all around this place. We don't have, obviously, 3 miles of land. So they're going to go off into the neighbors. They're going to go off into the bean fields. We can hunt these bean fields and most of the bean fields back here. But the food plots. So we want this to be a buck's core area. Just because he's not here in summer does not mean that he's not going to have this as his core area. You don't want a bunch of summer trail camera pics of a buck, because what that means is that buck is staying here and he's going to leave during hunting season. And it's okay if you get pictures annually, like every month. I've gotten a picture of a really nice buck. He comes around about every 3 weeks and goes back to his summer spot. But during fall and winter, you will drastically see those deer, those bucks that you saw monthly on your trail camera. You'll really see them start to come in here every week, every 2 weeks, and really stay in the spot. And they'll make this spot their core area. So this is a really cool spot. I think it's really going to be good. And we got the food plot set up, and so this should be a good spot. And I cleared all this stuff out maybe a week ago. I'm not really sure. But there's deer tracks right here. But we're just making this spot so that way the deer come, especially the bucks, come during fall and winter. They feel protected. They've got enough to eat. And that's another thing about winter. When winter comes, all this vegetation dies. They'll eat on trees like this, and once, obviously, fall comes, all the leaves fall. They're not going to have anything to eat on the trees. Once winter and fall, like halfway through fall, getting into early winter, all the weeds and stuff die. They don't eat weeds, but other stuff grows up within the weeds that they eat. All that stuff dies. So you've got to make sure that the deer have food. That's pretty much the most critical thing that you can do for the deer during fall and winter. And yeah, So all this stuff is going to die. We're going to plant brassicas this year. We're going to plant clover. We're going to plant forage peas. And we're going to have a thick wall of switchgrass so that way we can get into our stands really quietly. And so this should be a good spot. And yeah, I'm really excited for that buck that I saw on trail camera. You might have seen my other video. I think it was my last video. My target buck for the season. And since he's only coming in here annually every month, he's really going to come and hit this spot during fall and winter. But even if you have summer trail camera pictures, and even if you're coming in here, you're making all these changes, and the bucks still stay in this spot, then you're doing really good for them, helping them grow their antlers, but they're just not going to be here during fall and winter. Now, just because I had a buck on trail camera, to a little fork buck, and he was on my trail camera in August, actually the second day. I put my trail camera out. No, he was there that night. Put my trail camera out on my birthday, August 20th, and he was there that night. And I didn't really see him during the hunting season. I saw him a little bit, but not very much. But boy, when hunting season came, we had a pretty big 10-pointer in here. We thought he was an 8-pointer, but he had got split brow tines. That's the one I shot. We had another big 8-pointer here. But see, that 8-pointer, last year I did nothing to improve the spot. I'm just starting to improve this stuff. But last year we had an 8-pointer, really nice 8-pointer. And we saw him, and then it's like he didn't come back. Once fall hit, he left, and he was gone. I didn't see him the rest of the time. But I think this buck that I've got on trail camera is him. And he's coming in here annually, so that means he'll come here during hunting season. And yeah, that's just really cool. And even though that buck went over here, there was still, even if you have bucks and they leave, there's still new bucks that are going to come in. Say there's a summer spot over here for a buck, and then there's a fall spot over here for the buck. Those summer bucks are going to come to this fall spot. And say there's another summer spot over here. Say they're a couple miles apart. Summer spot over here, and then right here is their fall spot. So say, actually say this is a summer spot. I'm gonna, once fall hits, they're gonna go to that fall spot. But the other spot that was a summer spot, they're gonna come here. Because looking through trail cameras and stuff like that, trail cameras are very useful and very helpful. And once my summer bucks left, I got a new 10-pointer coming in. I got a new 7-pointer coming in. I got another, I think he was a 7-pointer. Pretty sure. I got another 7-pointer coming in. And I had that 4-pointer buck that came here in the summer. He came back a little bit during the hunting season, not much. But I still had bucks here even though some of them left to their fall spot. Now, it's really different with does. If you've heard the saying, does here today are here to stay, that's very true, because we've had a doe on this particular spot, this mock scrape over here. She was on the trail camera, and she just keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And I saw her last hunting season. The does have about a 1-mile diameter spot. They stay in their spot. Not saying that they won't merge out into 2 miles, 3 miles to look for a different spot, but they've got a bigger core area than a buck does. They've got a really big core area really small core area that they stay in, and a buck's got a bigger core area because they travel a lot. And especially during the rut, because they're chasing does everywhere. And just like the rut, even if the summer deer that were here go off to their fall spot, the rutting bucks are still going to come into this spot. Last 2 years ago, there were that 8-pointer left, and we actually saw him the shotgun hunt. I saw him 200 yards away with a shotgun. It was a very hard shot. I didn't take the shot. But then 2 9-pointers, never seen them, came in, and we shot both of them. Me and my dad shot both of them. So just because that summer buck left doesn't mean that new bucks won't come in.